Hello and welcome back to the third and final part of the Heroes Tier List 2022. We are now on to what has been probably anticipated. It is the legendary part of the Heroes Tier List. We are going to go through all 25 of the heroes. Now, some of them I have got limited knowledge on because of their limited frequency within the game that I've seen them, and then how hard they are to get themselves. But I'm going to have to go off on what information I've gathered from things like Reddit, things from the clan I'm in, and then also what you see on the stats pages for these units, and kind of like read between the lines of some of them. Okay, but we'll get to the bottom of it and we'll get this tier list going. So, first of all, we have got Ali, the Nine-Tails, Fox-Tails lady, you know, the one that everybody wants. Now, with legendaries, you have 4 abilities, and we're going obviously on the max basis. The first ability, Trial of Flames. Ali mobilizes all power of fire to form a powerful fire bomb. After accumulating power for 3 seconds, she throws the firebomb into the air, and then the fireball lands at top speed and hits the opponent, causing huge damage and stun them. At the same time, it will leave a burning flame on the ground and continue to damage the opponent's troops within the range for a certain period of time. If Ali is affected by a stun effect during the fire accumulation process, the fireball will fall to the ground right after she was stunned, and the damage and range will be reduced by half. So this is what I was talking about before. In the other video, go check it out. This is the epic heroes. There's a hero in there called Miller. Such a counter for Ali. Now, Ali is freaking beastly. Just by the sound of that attack, they're already in B. She does, at max level, it is going into the 18,000 mark. It is insane. Considering we've been talking, 4,000 and maybe 9,000 was one of the ones in the epic group. 18,000 Ali does. It is huge. The lasting damage, so this is the fire that drops afterwards, is up to 500. And then we got lasting damage, 10 damage every time at 0.5 seconds. So every second it's doing 20. It's huge damage. And the cooldown is at 14. So not ideal on that cooldown. But if she gets that attack off, you are decimated. Your army can get so easily decimated. That's already, with that statistics there, putting it up into the A group. We've got the second skill, which is a passive skill. Ali's normal attack and some skills can ignite the enemy, and the ignited enemy will take continuous damage in 8 seconds and greatly reduce its attack and defense. Attack reduction is a max of 50%, which is huge. Defense reduction to 54%. Burning damage up to 860, with that getting 8 damage in intervals of 1 second. It's just huge. That puts her top level A already. Then she has 2 other abilities once you get her to max level. Power of the Nine-Tails. Every time Ali culminates lost 10% of her life, she will stimulate the power of a tail to increase all her damage, at most stacking 9 times. At the same time, when Ali lost 90% of her life, all enemies on the battlefield will be bewildered, so stunned, for 2 seconds, and the ignited enemies will detonate. Bewitched and detonate effects only trigger once per battle. Damage the enemy himself and the enemy units around her. The damage caused by the detonation will not cause the enemy to be ignited. After the ignited enemy is detonated, the ignition effect on her will disappear. Now, this is an attack increase of up to 12%, straight up damage of 3,300, skill damage increased to 12%. this is huge. So the more health she loses, the more dangerous she gets. This already puts her into low S tier. And then the last one, her normal attack. This is racial synergy for the wild. So this increases all wild-based troops. Normal attack increase by 4%. Skill attack increase by 4%. Ali is an S tier hero. It's harsh as hell the way she fights, and only really having one hero counter out there in the form of a of an epic hero. Ali really does pose a big threat to majority of formations and majority of other heroes. Now, I have come across fights with myself where I am Cheon, which we will come to shortly, that I've managed to overcome Ali, but that is purely because of my troop formation or the positioning of things, and my troops actually getting to her in a decent time before that big attack comes off. You've got to have fast units, so things like undead soldiers getting out there and spreading out and really getting their attacks out there. Ali, you're up there. Well done. Next one, we have Apollo. Now, Apollo, I believe, in the past, prior to 2022, Apollo, back in the early days, was actually a very good hero. And he does pose potentially a comeback. He has got a lot of cool abilities. He is a ranger. He does do magic damage. Apollo summons a solar rain in target area, dealing with multiple damages to the enemy. Now, this is a lasting damage of 2,400 at the max. Now, lasting damage isn't ideal. This would probably be better if it was a one big off, like Ali does. Maybe if he had something like that, that would put him up a lot higher. He's got a passive skill. The glory of Apollo can greatly strengthen the attack of all units, up to 39%. That's quite decent. That is quite decent. He does have a sun imprint, which is all damage done by Apollo will give the enemy a layer of sun imprint. The number of layers of sun imprint can be superimposed. So this is apparently after the target receives damage from Apollo for the first time, the number of layers of sun imprint is 0. The sun imprint can stack up to 10 layers. Every time the enemy receives damage from Apollo, it will receive additional layers of its own sun imprint, X damage of damage. Sun imprint damage does not stack the number of layers of sun imprint and does not trigger additional damage. So it does the 10 imprints, and then that damage is just placed onto the potentially like up to 10 times. The damage noted at max is 550. So what you're looking at, if you've got the 10 layers and 550, it is lasting damage. What you're looking at, if he survives long enough, 5,500 maybe at the best range. And then his last skill, very similar, it's the racial synergy. This is for obviously sacred, so this is units like paladins and inquisitors and frost archers, things like that. 4%, just like Ali does. Now, Apollo, you had so much potential. It's all about the formation with this hero, which that's what lets a hero down, is if you've got to have all the amazing troops to start with to then allow your hero to be good. Your hero should already be lifting your troops up. I honestly think Apollo is falling down into the D tier in this case. Unfortunately, he's got so much potential. Now, here's the first of the ones that I've not really seen, and I've been playing 9 months and I've not really seen her because she is so hard to get. Very, I guess, pay to win on this one. I'm already bringing her down because she is so hard to get hold of. Now, her abilities. Now, at level 1, like same again. I've managed to unlock her once. Sorry, So I am level 1 with her. She's got 12,000 health at level 1. You know, that says something. Now, War Spear is a weapon which is a magic damage. Athena hurls her spear, which stuns the enemy and deals some initial damage. Then a formation of spears forms to stun and deal secondary damage to the enemy. When she recalls the spear, it creates a shockwave that deals damage for the 3rd time. Now that is a cool feature. That is, the initial damage can be a max of 7,200. The secondary is 3,006. And if it gets to the 3rd one, 9,000. Okay, so you're looking at what? A total of 9, 12... basically 20, literally 20,000 damage if she does that one ability, and she does it across that time period, which is a cooldown of 16 seconds as well, till she can do it again. Can she survive that long? All depends on your troops, really, because she's not strong enough to hold off too many hits, I'd say. Now, I honestly think that brings her up to C already. D brought it down because of the chances of getting her is so hard, but then her abilities, that ability there really does make a difference. Let's have a look. Next one, passive. Every 2 basic attacks, Athena releases olive branches to heal friendly troops in range, while also binding the enemy for 3 seconds. Now that's quite cool. Heal your friends and bind your enemies. Now, the heal recovery is only 980, and this is max. This is her at highest level. Lasting damage of 6 in intervals of 0.5. That overall, yeah, it's got great potential, but it's relying heavily on being able to survive. So same again, I think she's sitting in C at the moment. Aegis of Athena. This is Athena receives a shield immunity to disabling abilities for several seconds after activating War Spear. So when she does that massive damage, when the shield ends or is broken, it explodes, dealing damage to nearby enemies. This shield now, after a War Spear doing 20,000, is crazy. The shield can explode for 8,000. And then the shield power is 8,000 as well. And that can happen. The duration is 10 seconds as well. So another cool ability. And then we've got the racial synergy for the Sacreds. Just like the rest of the heroes, 4%. Nothing extra on that one. So I would put Athena, C grade. C grade. She's got some nice little things there. I haven't experienced her a great deal. So maybe C grade is too high for her, but because of the knowledge of it and the limited access you get to this hero and seeing people use this hero, it's very, very hard. Next one. Now this one has come out quite recently. It's Chiron or Charon, because I believe he's on the basis of the Greek ferryman Chiron. So yes. For me, from what I've experienced, people are using this hero. People are using it in Hero Trial. I've seen people using it in Arena. I've seen people, actually benefit and probably get this hero up to... God, I think I've seen some people level 8s and level 9s already. Now, we all got to test this hero out at level 17 with your clanmates and stuff. We tried some of this, and honestly, he's such a fail. He really is at the moment. Straight down to D. Straight down to D. Now, his abilities. Let's look at them. He's only level 1 with us and he's got 12k health. He's not a big attacker, but he does create something called Writhes. Now, Chiron summons a large ship from the underworld, moving forward for a certain period of time, causing lasting damage and knockback, while summoning Writhes. Now, when you get this guy to max, those Writhes have a health of 59,500. Now, to give you a comparison, let's grab a troop of a Stone Golem. Now, a Stone Golem, once you get a Stone Golem to level 10, A Stone Golem level 10 has 78,750. A Stone Golem level 9 has got 63,000. A Stone Golem level 8 has got 36,000. So, if you technically get Chiron to that max level, those rides are going to have huge amounts of health, but it's all about him releasing them. Now, their attack is pretty pathetic, I'd say. At max level, their damage is 840. That's not huge, but it's not small either, so it's in the middle, I'd say. They do so lasting damage, I believe it says here number of units effective 1, so it only affects 1 unit, and the lasting damage is 2,340. So that's at max level, and that does 6 lasting damage counts 6 damage intervals every 1 second. Max cooldown is on 10 seconds at max level. Honestly, potential, but really not there. Passive skill, the Field of Dead. I don't think I'd see this often. Every 19 seconds, Chiron releases the breath from the underworld to bring a shield to the friendly units. The shield power is equivalent to multiplying the shield factor of Chiron by the defense value of the friendly unit. Shields of heroes only work for 25%. Shield factor 25 is the max. Duration 10 seconds, and the cooldown, the best you can get on the cooldown is 15 seconds, which in a fight, that's probably going to happen maybe once to twice. It's crazy. Rider Army. After the Phantom Vessel shatters, Chiron releases the rides in the ship to attack the enemy. The ride's HP, 59,500, nearly 60k. Ride's attack, maxing out at 840. Survival time, 10 seconds. That's really bad. Number of units affected is 5. Same again, it's not really doing it. And then you got the dark. Damage received decreases for dark, and that's at 4%. Chiron has so much potential, but I think has been executed very badly. He, from experience and just fighting around him quite a bit and seeing him quite a bit, I honestly think for a dark hero, he could be so much better. He is an F tier for me. He really does not perform the way he should, especially by what stats this is telling us. He should be doing so much better than he actually is. So unfortunately, I am putting him into the F section. Next on the list, we have got the lovely Cheon, or Cheoni. So Cheoni is, I'd say, up there with majority of the heroes. She's got a freeze effect. Now she does a freezing field, summons a blizzard to the target area that lasts for several seconds. Enemy troops in this range will lose blood and be frozen. The skill ignores any damage reduction. She is good. Max damage she does 2,650, you fool. Lasting damage of 600, which is nice. Damage intervals is every second. Lasting count is 3. Cooldown, best you're going to get is 13. Now, I would say with that ability, it already puts her in a B, because the freezing effect makes a big bit there. But yes. Now, a passive skill is called Frost. Cheon will reduce enemy attack speed and movement speed. Now, this makes a big difference, because obviously you want to slow down your enemies as best you can. 36.5% for both of those. So, yeah. Already a good one. I'm already going to put her into A tier. We've then got Frost Prison. Every several attacks, Cheon will freeze enemies. Friendly troops will cause multiple damage to frozen enemies. Now, you freeze lots of enemies. Damage increase is 220% at max. that is without a doubt. You're freezing, keeping people going. The enemies are just, your troops are just going to rush in and just wipe out those frozen enemies. Makes a huge difference. And if you've got things like frost archers as well, you're going to be freezing everything. And then you got the synergies, which is attack speed. Speed and attack speed is increased by 4%. So overall, I honestly I don't think she's S tier. I believe she's definitely in the top A's. She has got a lot of ability and a lot of keeping an army at bay, and that makes a big difference. So without a doubt, we're putting her in at A with those benefits. Now then, our next one. Oh, the glory that is Davidson. Now, Davidson, he is on the wheel at the moment. Now, Davidson, and I will be having a Davidson video coming out very soon. It might already be out, so go check it out. Where I show you how many shards I managed to get on my wheel for those lovely 200 spins. Now, Davidson, he is, at the moment, he is probably one of the most desirable heroes. Out of all 25 legendary heroes, he is without a doubt in the top 5. Automatically, with his one attack that he's got, which is the dragon swoops to the ground, dealing massive damage and stunning the enemies, that already takes you into A tier, because being able to do an area of effect stun and knocking enemies back and pushing them away and keeping them away, doing a damage of up to 8,500 with a cooldown. If you get it to max level, the cooldown only 9 seconds, and you're just jumping around, bashing. Huge amounts, really good. Now, this is where people want this guy. His passive skill increases the health and attack of friendly units. A percentage of damage from basic attacks is reflected when an ally is hit. Health increase up to 32%, attack increase up to 25%, and damage reflection up to 37%. It's huge. Automatically S tier. Now, the question is Davison better than Ali? That's hard. Let's have a look at the other two abilities he's got. Now, he's got Dragon Rage, which after Davison's health drops to 50% for the first time, he becomes enraged and releases his active skill. Does not affect the cooldown of active skills. In this case, Davison's attributes improve and his normal attack becomes Spray Fire. At this time, the damage of Spray Fire is the value of David's normal attack, and no other Spray Fire effects will be launched at that point. So his attack can increase by 52%. Immune to injury 70%, and trigger HP percentage at 60%. It's freaking huge. The main effect here is the instances you're gonna get where Ali needs to launch her ability for that to be, where Davison, in my opinion, is an overall better hero across the board. Now, one huge important thing with Davison is switch auto attack off. You do not want him using his special ability all the time. You want to do it manually. You do not want it auto. You want to keep him alive as long as possible, so that passive ability outweighs the other. Okay, don't want to be activating even though it's handy with the stunning, much prefer his passive. All right. And then his racial synergy is HP for increases for all humans, which majority of troops are likely to be human troops. So 4% HP increase for all your human troops. So if you're using Davison, have lots of human troops because you at least benefit from that boost. But you also want heroes that are tanks. So you want troops that are tanks. You want things like stone golems, maybe cactuses, pumpkins, things like that are literally going to keep the enemy busy while Davison just absolutely jumps around the map. So yeah, S tier for Davison, and he's got a freaking dragon. S tier just for the dragon. Oh, here's my boy, Dracula. Now, Dracula, without a doubt, is the single best hero in Infinity War at low level. It's insane. Like, he outweighs like an Ali like 15, a Cheon like 13 or 14. Like, in Infinity War, you will do insane damage if you have Dracula. Make sure you don't have auto special on. Just have his abilities to life steal. He is Dracula after all. Now, without a doubt, he's going starting in B because he's got the ability to steal life. Devil's Invasion. Dracula summons bodyguard bats. The bats attack the enemy, reducing enemy troops' movement speed, dealing a lasting damage within the range. The effects of the bat attack will cause a life steal for Dracula. Now, this is going to keep him alive for as long as he can. It's honestly amazing. Now, number of units affected by this is up to 13 units, or enemies. Movement speed is reduced by 75%. It's insane. The damage they do is not too bad, 2,600, and that's just the bats attacking. Lasting damage 2,250. Lifesteal percentage is 20%. It's huge. The lasting damage count is 4, and then that's every 1 second, and then the cooldown can go down to 14% if you're max. I have currently got a level 4 Dracula. As you can see by all the videos on my channel, if you've checked them out, Infinity War, all those videos, I have managed to max out every session that I do, and I get all of the rewards, all of the chests open, and I'm usually either top of my group or I'm in the top 3, and that is purely on damage from Dracula being my hero, and then a lot of goblin techs. But Dracula alone in Infinity War is amazing. Now, outside of Infinity War, he's handy within Hero Trial. I don't find him very useful against the monsters like Cerberus and Manticore and Frost Dragon and things like that. Now, with Dracula in Arena, you do not see him a lot because there are so many heroes that basically will wipe him out very quickly, and there's a lot of troops that will go to him. He doesn't survive as long as you hope for. He's more of a long-term one in things like Infinity War. Infinity War can last up to 5 minutes, where an arena battle, it's probably under a minute in most cases. So Dracula doesn't really get into his stride, you know. So I think that's where it lets him down a bit. Dracula has a blood oath. Dracula signs a contract with all allied troops, granting them permanently increased attack damage. Also, damage dealt by allied troops will recover a proportional percentage of the unit's lost health. Attack increase can go up to 39%. Lifesteal goes up to 36%. And the damage interval is every 1 second. Now, that is why Infinity War is insane. Because you've got units that are doing huge damage, then getting a massive increase in damage, and then the lifesteal to keep them alive for longer. It's crazy. Now, okay. Next ability he's got is Sanguine Fury. After the first death, Dracula becomes invulnerable, turning into a blood mist with high lasting damage to attack the enemies. When Dracula emerges from blood mist form, his health value includes the life stolen prior. So, lasting damage 2,750, lifesteal percentage 30%, and then he's got damage interval of 0.5 seconds. So it's double at 1 second. And then he does a synergy with the dark units. Normal attack and skill attack increased by 4% for all darks. Which, if you're looking at what a lot of people will have in their armies, like undead soldiers, you're going to see that they are going to do huge amounts of damage. And, well, last a long time. Dracula, without a doubt, he is high-end B. I wouldn't put him into A and S. S and A, you've got to be able to compete in arena. I will put people in Bs if they've got a really strength in other parts of the game. And Dracula, without a doubt, you should have him even at low level. He is so good. Level 4 Dracula compared to a Cheon level 14, you do so much more damage in Infinity War. So yeah, watch those videos, check them out, they're on the channel. So yeah, Dracula, you are B. Hell yeah. Next on the review, here we go. So we have now got Drake. Now Drake, he's pretty common. I would say he's quite common. You can get him from normal hero chests, which you unlock, especially if you're powering through your levels, because when you're leveling up from level 1 to 8,000, you will get a lot of chests. Now, when you're unlocking all those chests, he is on them most of the time, and you will get him unlocked. I'm currently got him at about level 5, and I've never really used him. But he does have certain instances where he is quite handy. Now, he is quite useful in fighting some of the monsters. So like we were saying before, the monsters are things like Cerberus, Manticore, Ice Dragon, Cyclops guy, yeah, that's it. He's quite handy. Now, for me, I don't think he's quite as good as Dracula, and putting him into B, I think he is legitimately a high C. But he's got quite cool features to take on those monsters. He has got the Golden Hind Salvo, physical damage. Drake launches his Golden Hind Salvo, which is his gun, at a target area, dealing massive damage and slowing the movement of enemies. Movement speed reduction, the highest we've ever seen. 80% is huge. So if you're going up against something like the Frost Dragon, where ultimately all you need to do with that is slow him down, stop him, use pumpkin guards like galore. You want to basically stop him doing his attacks. You slow him down so much. This is the guy for the job. He does lasting damage of 3,000 in intervals of 5 damage, and doing it every 0.9 seconds, so just under a second, and the cooldown maxes out at 15, which 15 seems to be that sort of thing. Ugh, can you survive that long if someone goes for you completely? It's ultimately you might be able to get it off twice in most cases. Now, passive skill, Drake's Compass increases the attack and movement speed of all friendly troops. Now, that is very handy in general. 29% for the attack increase, and attack speed is 29%, and movement is up to 35%. So all around, quite good stats to get your troops going faster. He's got a Predator's Tide legendary skill, which is Drake summons the power of the Tide after a certain number of attacks, deals extra damage and reduce the defense of surrounding enemies. Now, the defense reduction is 36% at its max level, and then the damage is 700. So just a straight up 700. Honestly, I think if that was much higher, you would probably see a little bit more action from this guy. I think that's a little bit lackluster, especially if you've got him at high level, up to 15 and above. I think that's a bit disappointing, having only 700 as that damage. Then you've got, he is a human, so he's going to benefit your humans, speeds and attack. So his attack speed and movement is that standard 4% increase, and that's across the board. I honestly think he's sitting where he needs to sit. He's handy with the big beasts, the monstrosities, whatever you want to call them. He's handy at fighting them. He's useful in hero trials, but honestly, in arena, do not see much of him. And you would I would easily take out a high level one of these with probably a mid level, like Ali, a mid level, Cheon, and etc. All right. Next, we have the newest hero in the game, Freyja. Oh, the potential she has. Now, Freyja. She, without a doubt, does the most damage, like, of all heroes. She is insane. Her damage is unmatched for just like a single unit doing damage. I honestly think Freyja does come up into a B because she is very good within hero trial. She's got a lot of potential in arena if you can get the right troops to keep her going, because she's got an effect very similar to Davison, where basically it's like a massive knockback. She actually blows the entire field back. So if you can get a formation in place to benefit from that, keeping the distance sort of situation, and then keeping those things that try to get behind you, she is a top contender. I would bring her down because she does have she's very squishy. Her abilities, just to go through them now, I'm going to put her at high C at the moment. I don't think she's got that all around massive damage, and I've seen, like, I think on one hero trial she's only level 4 with me, and she was doing something like 400,000 damage, where my highest troop was doing like 90,000 in the time. She just outlasts. Now, she's got Gale Force, which is what I mentioned earlier. It's that she unleashes the power of nature to form a powerful wind field, knocking back enemy units along the way, and applying a lasting slowing effect to enemies in the wind. Movement speed can go reduced to 64% at high end. The cooldown can go down to 10 seconds. So, just like Davidson, I honestly think she's got huge potential. If you can get her in the right formation, she will be a force to be reckoned with. Let's have a quick look here. Okay. Just quickly check this. Okay. Now, we do have then her passive skill, which Freyja leads the power of nature to bless allies, increasing the attack speed of all your allies. Now, this goes up to 37%. I think this will benefit purely from boosting your troops around the fields, getting their attack speed going faster. Then, 2 abilities that are high end. Golden Arrows. When the active skill is released, Freyja injects power into the arrow, greatly increasing her attack speed and attack. Now, can you imagine someone who's already doing crazy amount of damage having an attack increase of 50% and an attack speed increase of 65%? It's huge. Honestly, I do think she's got great potential, and she is without a doubt a low B. She's a low B at the moment until she can get that formation worked out. If we can work that formation out, she's got so much potential. Then she helps wilds, so things like stone golems and goblin techs, and a Freyja goblin tech Infinity War. Could be interesting. 4% to normal attack increase and skill attack increase 4%. So standard. All right. So after Freyja, we have got Harrison, the Timekeeper. He is so weird. Now, I don't see Harrison often in arena, so already comes down. Harrison, his abilities, He makes space around him stagnant with a temporal vacuum, causing high damage to the end. Now, the damage is 13,000 at the top end, and the cooldown is 14, so no, not crazy, but the damage is pretty decent. Then we've got his passive skill. As a Time Walker, Harrison reduces the cooldown of active skills with each attack. So, cooldown reduction up to a max of 5 seconds cooldown. So if he attacks, he can then do his main active skill, which is that 13,000 damage one. So the more he attacks and the more he can get that cooldown, the better. Now, with that alone, I honestly think that pushes him up into the C grade. He's got a Tea Party Time as a skill. Being a master of time, Clockman never fears death. This skill revives Harrison and some of his troops once per battle. Number of units effective, up to a maximum of 95 units can be revived. So, if you've got some good troop lineups, that little ability can really make the difference. And then he's a human based, so that'll increase the attack speed and movement speed of humans by 4%. Honestly, I think C grade is pretty much where he sits. No more sort of words needed for that. Now then, the next one we have got Horus, the glorious of Horus. The first, is that the first Egyptian we've had? So yeah, we got Horus. Horus looks very cool. He's sacred based magic style. He's got Gust of Wind. Horus uses his wings to create a gust of wind, damaging enemies and reducing ranged units' attacks. Now, that's very specific. If that was every unit, that would be great. But because it's specifically ranged units, if you're fighting an army that's got a lot of melee, then Horus's attack is useless. It does up to damage of 8,500 and a cooldown of 9, which cooldown of 9 really good. Damage okay, but specific to ranges. So for me, he's sitting probably top ND ahead of Apollo at the moment. Protected Wings, passive skill. Horus protects friendly units using his wings, reducing damage from ranged attacks. Same again, very specific. Only attack reduction of 32%, so it's not even a massive amount. It's a very specific skill, but it's not a massive amount. I would have thought if it's so specific to a ranger base that you would have a much bigger protection against it, rather than what I would expect is 32% against all units, but unfortunately no. So next one is the Eye of Horus. Makes dark enemy units take extra damage and prevents them from reviving. Now, if you're up against an army full of dark units and undead soldiers that revive themselves, Horus is your boy. Stops them completely. Damage increased as well against dark units is 43%. Now, dark heroes are, at the moment, Chiron, Dracula, and the ones we've got ahead of us are Mephisto and then Asriel. Asriel we don't really see because he's literally high-end game hero. Now, I would say that because you're really not going to come across many of the dark heroes, that Horus isn't really going to be benefiting from it. It's more about the troops that you're going to come across. So at the moment, I think he is right where he should be. He's in the D, high D. He does damage received decreased for sacred units by 4%, which is the standard synergy that the percentage-wise that they give. So Horus, you're sitting neatly at high D. Next, we have Jin. Now, Jin, as we said in the rare video, which you should go check out, the rare video had Hohenheim, who is your gold maker. Now, Jin is by far better. He makes lots of money. Now, he has a money maker. So without a doubt, he goes straight up to B, because the money making machine is there. It's called a passive skill called Gift of Wonders. Jin grants allied troops with a certain chance of doing critical hits, which is even better. At the same time, Jin will get extra coins from battle. he drops a max of 13, critical rate of 20%, and then the critical damage 420%, which is huge. So alone, that is amazing. He then also has Treasure Eruption, which Jin rubs his lamp, erupting treasure within a certain range, dazzling all enemies within, stunning them in place, and increasing the attack damage of all allied troops within the range. Attack increase 52%, huge. And then the damage 2,400. Lasting damage count is 8, which is quite high. Damage interval 0.5, and the cooldown can go down to 9. So that alone, those two skills alone, put him easily in A. And honestly, I think he's better than Cheon. Now, we do have a legendary skill called Last Wish. Jin enchants allied troops, postponing their death for a certain period of time. Any allied troops buffed by Last Wish will not be debuffed upon Jin's death and will live the entire period of the buff. Now, this gives them immortality. At max level, it's basically just over a second of immortality. Now, in this game, a second can be the difference between winning and losing. Jin has really made some movements in recent sort of months and year, I guess. He is very achievable. You can get him. He's on the wheel. He's on the card master. He literally can hold off very high level units. And if he gets into the tiers I've discussed, the top level, 15, 16, 17, and going into those ranges, he is a formidable foe. I honestly think he is a low-level S rank because he's got so many benefits to him. He's good against monsters, which is like Cerberus. I use him against Cerberus if I'm not using Diana to use her like defense, remove the defense. Jin really does well in headhunting to get extra coins. He's brilliant for obviously generating coins with your normal fighting through level 1 to 8,000 and beyond. Honestly, Jin is one of those heroes that everybody should have in their harem of heroes. Another HH. Yeah, Jin, without a doubt, I think he is S grade. I'm putting him at low end S grade because in Arena there's that tipping point between certain heroes that he'll struggle with, kind of like what Cheon, Cheon, Ali and Davidson do go through, but they have got the extra sort of bigger damages than Jin unfortunately has. He's got to really get those critical hits coming off, but without a doubt he's in the S rank for me. Next, Kraken. Now Kraken, I want to get this guy up a bit more because he has a very cool ability, which I will go through in a moment. Now, I find Kraken, he's a very specific hero. He's a hero that's going to be used in very niche areas. So for that reason, very much like Dracula and Freyja, I think he does automatically come into low end B to start with. Kraken flies towards the enemy and ensnares a large number of enemy troops, dealing damage and stunning them, as well as providing himself with a powerful armor boost. That alone there justifies why he's in B. His defense increase at high level is 165%. It's insane. It's huge. It's the biggest percentage we've seen so far. His damage is 5,800 to this group of enemies. The cooldown can go down to 11, which is really good. Because so far we're seeing like 15 is like the average. He's got a passive skill. At the beginning of the battle, an Arctic tornado appears with the Kraken. Moving randomly, it causes continuous damage and slows enemies that it touches. After several hits, enemies will be frozen. So yet again, another justification why he's in B. And honestly, pushes him ahead of Freyja, I think, because of the level of control that you can have over a field of battle here with Kraken. And Kraken is very handy, obviously, in very specific Infinity War, which is Zoo, which has a great deal of very high level high health, so it's the Beast Masters. So gathering them all together to allow your other troops to cause damage to that area is a big advantage. Now, their movement speed reduction is 53%, lasting damage, huge, 335, and damage intervals of 0.75 seconds. So not even a second, a third, 3/4 of a second. Then he's got Death Tentacle. Kraken stretches out multiple tentacles towards the enemy, dealing damage and causing stun effects, or even more, just like Davidson does, and just like Cheon does, and Jin does. They do that stunning effect. And then the number of units affected by this is only 14, which is such a shame. Like, we've seen so many units, so many heroes so far, where they've affected multiple, like, double figures, like 20s, 30s, 40s, that sort of thing, where this is only 14. It's a bit disappointing. I would have thought that they would have given that a little bit more. And then the damage they can do is up to 2,400. And then, just like everybody else, the synergy, this is for wild, and this gives a damage received decrease damage resistance of 4%. And there's your 4%. So honestly, I think he is mid-B. Mid-B, without a doubt. All right. Next we have Poseidon, another Greek god. Here we have. I just realized they don't have Hades yet. They've got Zeus is in this game. They've got Poseidon. They've got Athena. Where the hell is Hades? And where the hell is Aphrodite? Okay, so Poseidon. I'm not even going to waste my time going through some of the stats on this guy, because honestly, I have fought level 17 3-star Poseidons with my level freaking like 10 Cheon, and I decimate them. It's freaking insane. How can someone so powerful be so crap? Honestly, you are FTR. He really is. He's just like, I'll read out one of the stats for you. This is his main stat. Wave cleaving, basically just as a wave that deals surrounding foes reduction of their attack speed. 32% is the max. And then the damage that does, 1,200. 1,200. Yeah, so my honest opinion is he's an F tier character. He doesn't get used in other parts of the game. Rena, if you've got him, I'm going to attack you. If I see that you're 17 with 3 stars, even with my 14, I'm attacking you. I think this is the main point of it, is heroes that were great back maybe a couple of years ago and now so crap because of what changes have happened with the game, and then other heroes that have come in, they've just not kept up. And I think that's where someone like Poseidon, you're going up against someone who's then looking at numbers, which a lot of people will always think, well, the more bigger number I've got, the better chance I got of winning. This game is not like that. I have fought a battle where my power score was only 800,000 and I defeated someone with 1.4 million damage. All because I had the right hero, I had the right troops in the right positions, and I decimated his army that was nearly double my power level. And it does happen. So honestly, pick wisely. If a hero is unfortunately changed and been nerfed, then you do need to just move on, unfortunately. Next one. Oh, so many people are going to be loving this lady. We have got Celine. Oh, Celine. Now, Celine counters so many heroes, especially my main hero, which is coming up next, which is Cheon Duak. I can never get her name right. Celine does so well. Now, Celine gathers the power of the moon and scatters it on the ground, binding the enemies in place and causing a lot of damage. Now, this damage is 8,500 damage. At max level, this lasts 9.2 seconds. And then the cooldown is 15. So if you activate that at the start, you've only got less than 6 seconds where that effect is not active, which is freaking insane. And that automatically takes her up into B group, without a doubt. Then she's got Moonlight Protection, which is at the start, Celine will open a barrier to make our unit immune to partial damage and increase attack power for a certain period of time. Attack increase, 62%, another high amount, which is amazing. Immune to injury, 75%. So here alone, from the start, Celine is providing so much power. And I honestly think, even though we've got Cheon, whatever way you want to go with it, and she's got her freezing and slowing people down, this here is just, it's like the chef kiss of the moment. Now, the next ability she has is every once in a while. I hate these sort of ones. Every once in a while. Celine will mobilize the power of the moon to deal damage to the enemies in the front line and weaken their attack. Now, you got to understand, like, front line on most formations tend to be mage apprentices who just fly around, stone golems, meteor golems. You know, those tend to be at the front. They're not like high damage people, but the attack reduction is up to 27%. The damage it does is 2,500. So like, you can't complain about that, but it's all about the formations. With the formations that people use, I don't feel that has a great benefit compared to the other abilities she has. And then she is a sacred, and this is all about her synergy being HP based. 4% increase to all those sacred heroes you have. So if you've got a lovely army of units like Frost Archers, maybe even Paladins, for a bit of that defense boost to your army, that can make a big difference in the overall picture of the fight. And here we have it, the hero that I literally committed to so early into the game after kind of getting my first legendary is her, and dumping 65,000 gems into Cardmaster. Go check out that video. God damn, I spent a lot. That's a very informative video, everybody. We have got my hero, who is currently level 14 with 7 shots to go to be my very first 15, which I will do a video, like just a clip of me going apeshit that I've just got a level 15, is Cheon. And as we know, she is automatically an F tier. I can just hear people just go, what? No. Without a doubt, she is a high B. She pushes into A in certain circumstances, but unfortunately, and I know I've picked her as my main hero, I've committed, unfortunately, to it. And she will be my first hero. She is a human, so she is going to help me get all of my human troops to that level 10. But let's go through her stats and let's see where she actually should be and where she ends up, because you'll see what will happen now. But yeah, she'll be, you know what? I'll just save you time. It's just F tier. Even Charon is better than her. It's just without a doubt. I can just hear people in my clan going, "What? No, you're wrong." I toy. Okay, so first one. Holy Light Blessing. Queen Sheerduke unleashes her divine power as she prays for healing of all friendly troops. The healing lasts for 6 seconds and requires Queen Sheerduke to cast the spell continuously. During this time, Queen Sheerduke is immune to control effects. So screw you, Frost Archers. And your bloody control effects. Now, the health recovery, 460 at max level. Maximum health regen is at 5.4%. Her other abilities that she has a passive ability, which is normal attacks from friendly troops deal additional damage to enemies equivalent to 5% of the friendly troops' max health. For melee units, the additional damage has a small AoE effect, which is good for melee because melee doesn't have area of effect, but this adds it. The duration lasts for up to 8.2 seconds. The range is 15, which is massive. The range damage ratio is 22% as well. Holy Strike is the next ability, which is while the Holy Light Blessing skill is active, enemy troops are shrouded by divine power and all damage to enemies is increased by 24%. It's huge. And then you get that 4% boost for HP. Without a doubt, she is a high B, but for me, she is an A. She is an A, and I would... Cheon beats Ceon. Celine beats Ceon. Jin can beat Ceon. Ali can beat Ceon. Davison sucks versus Ceon. Like, I've taken out so many high-level Davisons, it's insane. But there's too many heroes here that can take her out. So she is an A, but she ain't the best A. Next! As you can see, greyed out. I don't have him. Now then, this is Arthur. Now, Arthur, my boy. Arthur, and I will say, I've actually experienced some fights with Arthur, and he is pretty good, and he used to be, and I believe he used to be very good. He's got stone mode, which Arthur uses the power of the stone, causing damage and casting a shield that protects allies from several hits. After he uses this power, Arthur switches to Excalibur Radiance, which is his sword. Resistance is during 5 seconds. Damage is 2000, and then Excalibur comes in at attack increase of 29%, damage of 2000 as well. Then we've got a passive ability being immune to injury of up to 32%, which is huge. And then maximum health regen per second, 3.2%. So you got to imagine, if you got a Stone Golem that's got like 80,000 health, 3% is a decent amount. Now, this other ability is Blade Storm. This gives a defense reduction of 35%. And then the damage is 9,000. Now, for me, experiencing, and then obviously he's got that 4% bonus at the end of the synergy, which is HP based again, which I like the HP one. Now, Arthur, I honestly think he's gone down in recent years, and I've heard people talk about it in like Reddit and Discord, which you should go check out the Reddit, which is Art of War Legions, and the Discord in the description below for myself and for the clan, the Hunters clan. Now, Arthur, and I came across him in a fight recently, and he really put up a fight against my Ceon 14 and my army. I did end up outdoing him just by a bit, and to be fair with him, he was much higher than me. He was like a 15, I think he was like a 15 2-star or 15 3-star. He should be beating me, but I know how much more powerful these like 6 heroes up here are compared to how he was. So honestly, I think he's come down in recent months or maybe years since he was released. And I honestly think he's got great potential. And I would say that I'd probably put him in the sort of mid-Cs. That's where, I would say he's about the mid-Cs. Now then, the next one. I really know very little about this one. Because I honestly don't see people using this person. And if I do, when I do attack them and they're high level, they just get decimated. They really get decimated. And I would say decimated by these top 6 here. This one is Nezha. And like looking at the damage they can do, up to 8,000 at max level. Lasting damage is 775. We've got cooldown of 13. We've then got a passive ability for every 10% of HP loss. So you've got to lose your life. 5% damage reduction and immunity goes to your army. Damage of 3,600. Immunity of 10%. It's not really worth it. Trigger HP percentage at 9% max level. It all just sounds very poor. I haven't experienced too much of them in fights. Maybe arena, I've seen them maybe once or twice, and I've been playing 9 months. And I don't see them drop this. I think they're on Cardmaster every now and again. But the problem with Cardmaster is you'll have this person up with Kraken, Dracula, Celine, and these top 6. Like you're not. Yeah, you're just not. Like Poseidon is better than you. You know what, Poseidon? I've moved you up. You're top F, bruh. And I hear tell that Nezha is a budget Kraken. So if you've got the choice of Kraken and Cardmaster, you go for them. But don't go for them. Alright, the next one. We've got Ivan. Now, Ivan is that character that everybody seems to go for. He's he's on the route of pay to win. Because they're even now I'm looking on there. Oh yeah, look, your first top up. There we go. You can get Thunder King Ivan if you buy. Not many free to play players will have Ivan. You will have had to spend money at some point. Now Ivan, whenever I see him in arena, even if he is 15 plus, I do fight him. And 9 times out of 10 I beat him. Ivan is he does do quite a bit of damage. He really does. So I think he's got that benefit of like over like Arthur. Honestly, I think Ivan, because he's like the pay to guy, he's like here. He's powerful and he can do some massive damage. 15,000 at top level, cooldown of 14, movement speed of 30% at max, attack speed reduction of 20%, lasting damage of 680, pretty in the middle, and intervals of 1 second. Then he's got his storm, which you see a lot, which is only a damage of 800. If that was more, maybe he would still be good. And then he's got the 4% on normal attack and skill attacks for humans. Now, honestly, I think he is C grade at the moment with those attacks and the damage and the 15. But because you have to you can't get him via normal means, you've got to basically buy him. And the chances of you getting him are so limited. I am actually throwing him in top D. He doesn't deserve to be in C, I don't think. But people do people do go for him. Maybe it's just because he's promoted as your first booster pack and things like that. Just not for me. Now, Mephisto. Now, anybody who knows me knows I love the game Diablo. Diablo is all about Diablo, Baal, and Mephisto. And Mephisto in that game is so good. He is the Lord of Hatred. Mephisto in this game is indeed the Lord of Hatred, and probably where people got like the reference of, obviously, Mephisto is a god of mythology. He's such a letdown. He is obtainable. He's often on Cardmaster. He's often in the arena passes. But I think it's where he gets let down is his damages and things like that. Mephisto roars and will cause damage to the enemy for 6,500. His health can increase by 17%. Not his health, sorry. The friendly troops. Attack increase by 22. Extra health increase by 16%. Extra damage increase by 21%. Resurrect level. This is 9. So after several attacks, Mephisto will resurrect a dead dark troop as a demon to continue fighting. Now, demons, I see them in arena a lot, and I don't know why people use them so much, because there are so many better units to use, because demon is just a one single unit where you can literally get a 9-prong army troop into that one slot. So to resurrect a dark unit into a demon, I don't see the benefit mainly. And then you've got the normal attack and skill attack increase for dark units 4%. Now Mephisto, I think you've had the short straw out of the demons. I'm sorry, but honestly, I think you are D grade, and no, even Apollo's better than you, to be honest, because I go up against some people with Mephisto and he just dies so fast. It's insane. Troops just swarm him and then he's gone. Now, not many people will know this guy at all, because he's like unobtainable right now. Where the frick do you get him? Like, coming soon, basically. Odin is not even in the game yet. Well, he is, but he's not. So we're only going to speculate with Odin, okay? So nobody has him, nobody's fought him. We can only go on his stats. So starting off, he is sacred. He is a mage, so he's magical. Odin uses the Eternal Gun to release super light, penetrating the enemies in the light and causing high damage to them. Now, this sounds very similar to Apollo, using his beam. Now, lasting damage is 2,500. It's pretty weak. Lasting damage count 10, which is high. That's the highest we've come across. Damage interval, though, is 0.1 second. So, in 1 second, you have done lasting damage of 100. In 1 second. It's crazy. So, that is pretty good. Cooldown can go to 10 at max level. Then you've got God's Blessing, which is a passive skill. Odin blesses allied units, increasing their maximum health and attack. Maximum health increases by 22%, attack by 22%. Both pretty good. Like, could be a lot better, especially how rare he might be. Then, ignore defense damage, legendary victory throw. At the beginning of the battle, Odin throws clones of the spear Gungnir around our formation. The clones will deal lasting ignore defense damage within a certain range. Lasting damage of 700. Lasting damage count 15, that's the highest now, in damage intervals of 1. So that's very good. And then you've got the synergy, which is for sacred. Attack, normal attack and skill attack 4%. Now, I'm going to speculate with this one. Odin sounds very much like how Freyja is turning out to be. So I honestly think that Odin may be in the B tier. And this is all speculation. Everybody's going to probably have their opinion. But I think that's where it probably would sit. Especially with that attack and health boost compared to what Apollo is suffering with. I think low B at the moment. That's where he's sitting. Now then, we got Beowulf. Now Beowulf, he's a badass of Norse mythology. So why did they make him so crap? Now, Beowulf. Wrath of the Berserker. Beowulf taunts to attract enemies and gains temporary defense while he rapidly spins his sword, moving towards the center of the battlefield, inflicting damage. Now, that's quite a cool effect. I haven't come across too many Beowulfs in Arena, probably because they're not very much high-level Beowulfs out there. The damage he does is lasting damage of 1050 at max level now. Lasting damage on 6, very poor. Damage intervals are 0.5 seconds and a cooldown of 12. Very lackluster. Passive skill is every time Beowulf is hit by a basic attack, his armor and attack damage increases. He also restores maximum health per second. So his attack increase is up to 12%. So poor. His defense increases up to 4.5%. This is max level. It's so bad. Maximum health regen per second, 0.9%. It's just so bad. You put all that time into creating him top level and he's not even got a decent percentage increase. Now, he's got Shield Assault. Beowulf summons a huge shield that absorbs a set amount of damage. It also grants him a chance to perform a counter attack that deals true damage. Shield power of 2,800. Counter attack rate is 30% chance. Counter attack damage is 56% of obviously said damage. It just sounds so poor for the sort of hero he is. He does come up on Card Master quite a bit. He is a human, which there are quite a lot of human heroes out on this game that are way better than him. Honestly, this is pushing him way down for me. I honestly think he is probably just a bit better than Mephisto there. He's in mid D for me, I think. I just can't see why anybody would put too much time and money into them. All right, so now we come to the one. Asriel. Now, I have never fought Asriel. I know I've only played 9 months. The only people getting Asriel are the top 10, like top 5, top 10 players in the game, in Arena. It is the reward you get for being in the top. So there's a lot of assumptions, especially from what I can tell, on how good he is. He's clearly got to be a good unit. So by the rarity of him, of getting him, you've got to consider him to be a good unit, I'd hope. Now, the abilities we're going to go through in a bit more detail. Blade of Soul Devourer, magic damage. Asriel wields a sickle to cut out a fierce light wave to harvest souls, causing damage to enemies in front of him in a straight line and absorbing HP. Damage, 8,500. Pretty good. He has a lifesteal percentage of 20% and a cooldown of 5. That's automatically putting you into an A. Now, next skill is passive. Asriel exhales the death breath of hell, causing continuous damage to enemies every second. Health reduction per second, 2.6%. So every second, someone is losing 2.6 health. So a stone golem with 90,000, that health is going to drain quick. Which I'm already pushing you up into top A here. I think the only reason I won't put you in S is just because of how unobtainable you are. Now then, Decisive Strike kills enemies when their HP is lower than a certain value. Instant death threshold. At max level, 22%. That's insane. So if an enemy unit is less than 22% health, it instantly dies. That's freaking insane. I think it's got to be low S tier it's got to be low S tier because I can't put him top. I don't know. He's got to be... No, he can't be an S. The only reason he would be an S is if he could be obtainable by any sort of means of luck in a chest somewhere. Even like a 1% chance of luck. But because you've got to be the top 5 or top 10 best players in the world and they're the only ones that get this card... That's why I'm putting it in top A, because it doesn't deserve the S grade because of how ridiculously rare he is. His then synergy is health based, which is yet another positive. Like Asriel is clearly a top end dark unit, and is clearly powerful. But I've never fought any of them. I've never seen him on the field, so. It just shows that even the best players in the game haven't got him strong enough for them to swap him out for their Davisons or their Alis or their Jins and Celines and whatever. Alright, so next one we got Monkey. I know one person in my clan loves the monkey. It's Wukong. So Wukong is shit. He basically could do... an attack damage of 7,400, cooldown of 6 seconds, which is pretty good actually. Not bad damage. Then you've got increased hero attack speed and power. Without a doubt, attacks increase at the max level 95%. So basically, nearly doubles your attack speed. Your attack increase, sorry, and then your attack speed up by 70%. It's insane. So you double your damage and double your nearly double your, or over double actually, your attack speed. It's crazy. And then he's got the Monkey King makes his body like iron and steel, becoming immune to some damage, immune to injury, 55%. Honestly, Monkey Boy, you are, I'd say middle here. I'd say here. We have got one hero left, and I would say best to last, but clearly wasn't. We have got Zeus. Yes, bring Hades. Where is he? All right, so Zeus. I have fought quite a few Zeuses. Zeusai, you may say. Zeus is pretty fucking weak when I fight him with Cheon. Or Cheon. Or whatever. I can never say her name. I have to commit to one of them. Now, Zeus, he's a hero that is... you'll get him in hero bundles. You've got to buy him most of the time. So already, drop down. D. And... I even put I put you probably like here. You're powerful. He is powerful. He's got lightning damage of 3,400. He can affect 12 units at the same time with that. A cooldown of 15, which pretty much is standard. He then has a passive skill that increases attack speed by 22%. Attack reduction by 32%. And damage by 1,700. Pretty just average. Then he's got ignore the defense, so percent max health damage of 11%, maximum damage of 5,000 for the Wrath of the God, and then he's got the 4% on normal attacks and skill attacks for sacred units. So because he's like a pay to guy, I think Zeus is he is literally in the sort of D range here. At least with Ivan, he does hold up quite well. I find the most people I've attacked that are high level, 15 plus, with stars, I do take out their and I'm just below 1 million power on my Cheon 14. She's level 14. And I'm doing like 980,000 power, and I'm taking down the like Zeus 15 plus 15 3-stars, and with obviously an army of 8s and 9s and 10s, just because I don't think he just has enough to take him on. So honestly, I think he's in the D range. Is he better? He's probably better than... He's kind of maybe here then. Like these guys, they're obtainable. These guys are not really as much attainable unless you want to use money. But for free to play, which is what I do, yeah, I would probably put them further down. But they're in the D range, without a doubt. So that is the legendary one. That is a much longer video, and I do thank each and every one of you that has lasted this long into this video, and I hope any of that information is handy for you, and I hope you liked the tier list that I've done for the heroes across the rare video, the epic video, and the legendary video that you're watching right now. And if you have any comments on the list itself, or just any other content that you would like me to cover in the Art of War universe, please let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like all 3 of these videos, and if you haven't already done so, please click the subscribe button, because every part of support that you can give to the channel will just help more and more people see the content here. So thanks again, and I will see you guys in the next video.